I spoke to you last Sabbath when we were here about on Christmas morning, the NASA scientists, along with Canada and some European nations, launched the James Webb telescope. This telescope is slated to go 1 million miles deep into space and then park in orbit around our galaxy and began to collect images of stars from the distant and ancient past. But it's going to go out 1 million miles before it stops. This telescope is a series, rather than looking glasses, a series of mirrors. That as the light comes in from the distant stars, that it will reflect upon that gold item there, which is a mirror, and the mirror will then translate. It's better than a telescope. It is a marvel of its own in terms of reflecting light and then sending that light back to America or to the space stations to be discovered and dissected. But, many of you have probably heard scientists and other people discussing such things about the beginning of Earth, discounting the Genesis account, the 7th day and all that. They don't buy that. They say that Earth and that the universe itself was formed by what is known as a big bang that happened. And that big bang, now the scientists acknowledge there was nothing. And I don't know if nothing is the appropriate expression, and they have not found a way to articulate before the Big Bang. They believe that all of the universe got started with this massive explosion of this small atomic force, if you will. And from there, all other things began to move out from that explosion region. And it's been moving for the past 4 billion years. Now, they believe this. They really believe it. They say that they have data that says that light has been coming in for the last billion years or whatever it is that they say, that they give some measurement, and they really believe. And they're not crazy people. They're very well-learned people, and they're very skilled at what they're talking about. I just don't believe them with that regard of the Big Bang. But what I do want to say is this, is that there might be some truth to the Big Bang. You say, well, Pastor Man, how on earth did you get from Obama to the Big Bang? Just keep listening. I believe there may be some truth. I've been writing the book of Job. Y'all been reading Job? Y'all been in Job? I want to show you something in Job chapter 1. We've been writing the book. Now, I'm sorry, Job chapter 37, pardon me. Job chapter 37, verse 1. Now here's what I want to do. I want you to think about what the scientists are saying, that the whole universe, as far out as man can see, got started with a tiny infinitesimal little something, maybe an atom, if you will, that exploded. Now, they can't tell you what was there before the atom exploded. They can't tell you that there was space. They can't tell you there was dimension. They can't tell you what platform that atom was, but it was the prima facie, if you will, cause of all things. My problem with that is that you got to have a how, you got to have a where, you got to have a what, you got to have a when. They don't have that. All they have is this infinitesimal explosion. But here I want to suggest something. Look at Job 37, verse 1. At this also my heart trembleth, and is moved out of its place. Hear attentively the noise of his voice. Now we're talking about the noise of God's voice. And the sound that goeth out of his mouth. Talking about the sound that goeth out of the mouth of God. He directeth under the whole heaven, and is lightning under the ends of the earth. After it a voice roareth, he thundereth with his voice of his excellency, and he will not stay them when his voice is heard. God thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. I said, oh! Maybe it wasn't the Big Bang after all. Maybe it was just God saying, let there be, with that voice of his, and everything started happening. I mean, does anybody notice what I'm saying here? So I'm going to have to call up NASA and tell them I need an appointment to come and talk with them. I need to school them on the Bible and the power of the voice of God. Because it was simply the sound of God speaking that all of the universe exists. You know, I said and have said and will say that God said that the word ATLAH, that sound, ATLAH, had never been heard on planet Earth, not made by a frog croaking or an owl hooting or the waves waving or the sounds of men walking. ATLAH, that had never been heard. It's a sound that never been, not even the angels of God ever heard that sound. ATLAH! Now we're aware that the configuration of the letters have been used quietly in some Arabic ideal, but not the sound. The sound of God's voice. Just think what my life would be like if I decided to embrace Black Lives Matter, or embrace Obama, or embrace blackness and defend people like Andrew Brown or Michael Brown or Trayvon Martin. Or if I embraced LGBTQ and said, man, and myself perform marriages. Imagine the wealth that I would have. Imagine how often you see me on the news and, you know, and all the people of the community would be worshiping and saying what a great preacher and great pastor I am. You do know that would happen, right? I want you to consider that I will not and never under any circumstance nor the threat of death ever go anywhere near thinking about doing anything as satanic as that. But what I do want to ask you to do is to consider my righteousness. I'm the Lord's servant, and you might want to help me. You might want to say, well, listen, you know, especially if you're at retirement age and your life is settled and your income's, you're pretty much settled for the rest of your days, but you have excess, or you have what you can give, or you can make this ministry, you can further this word to reach the 50,000 righteous men through your giving. Maybe you have stocks, or you have bonds, or you have properties, houses, or land, or jewelry that you could just give to the ministry, cars, automobiles, paintings. I'm just going to give them to that ministry. If Jesus is coming back to Harlem, to 123rd Street, then I want to give my possessions to prepare a place for him. Jesus said he's going to prepare a place for us, but I'm going to give my possessions, my paintings, my gold, my jewelry, my stocks, my land, my property, my houses to prepare a place for him when he comes back, that the land would truly be holy ground. For James David Manning is his servant. Thank you for doing that. You'll know how to give. The Lord will show you how. But start doing it immediately. Time is of the essence.
See